Hi, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's doing well, staying safe. I have the pleasure of being here with Sophia Marshall, and she is the very, very happy, hard-working owner of Fire Natural. Hi,
Hi.
Sophia.
Hi, everyone. Hi,
How
how
are
are you?
you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for joining us here.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
No worries. I was hoping that you can tell us more about your business. What do you guys do?
Absolutely. My name is Sophia Marshall, as you mentioned, and I am the CEO of Fire Naturals Incorporated. We are a hair care line company. However, we do specialize in helping anyone who wants to grow their hair.
Okay.
Yeah, so we offer premium hair care products that are clean, organic, natural ingredients. And we also focus a lot in educating our customers about how to use our products and also how to maintain hair growth. And we put a lot of emphasis on to having them understand that that hair growth is indeed a biological process. So we want people to take care of themselves from the inside out. So even if you want to grow your hair, it will benefit other aspects of your life because there's so many factors that affect hair growth. So we talk a lot about things like stress management, improper hair care routines, all the different, poor diet and lack of exercise, and all the different factors that affect your health overall, including the hair, including toxic hair care products. And this is the reason why we decided to offer products on the market. We just started with our very first. We've decided to focus on providing natural hair products at the same time that we're educating people. But the education is something that we are really passionate about, going out there and letting people understand that the reason why there's so much of a hair loss epidemic right now across the globe in all ethnicities, just right across, is because of the multifactors. The stress levels have gone up and so many other issues, the food, just it's a lot of different things. So we try to educate people and help them look into different
I've
areas.
dealt with you personally on
Thank
my
you.
own hair care journey. So I know a lot about you, a lot about your business. We've spent hours talking about life and hair care. So can you give me just a little tidbit that perhaps someone else may not know that we should be doing with our hair that perhaps we're not?
Okay. So one of the main things I always tell customers, whenever you are doing a wash, it's your wash day. Whether you wash your hair once a week, multiple times per week, however, whatever your routine is, which we also help people decide what's best. But whatever your routine is, we really want people to understand that when it's wash day, you need to treat your scalp separately from how you treat your hair. So you should be doing a treatment on the actual scalp as well as doing treatment for your hair strands because they like different things and they benefit from different ingredients.
Got it. And
Yeah,
this I know firsthand. You do everything totally natural, so that's great.
perfect.
Can you tell me, you seem to be over the moon passionate about this. How did you start? Like, what made you open this business?
Well, that's a great question. And there's a story behind this because I would say about 15 years ago, I lost a significant amount of my hair. At least 80% of my hair was gone. And it all started because I was under a lot of stress. I had complete improper hair care. My washing my hair was not something I did frequently. I had my hair in locks, and I thought I had the belief that you didn't have to do much; it will just grow because it grew anyway. But my scalp was going through a really difficult time, so I had sore scalp. I had a lot of issues, infection of the scalp, and I had amazing hairstylist, and I attempted to get help from a lot of people, but unfortunately, they didn't have the tools. They just didn't have the know-hows to help me. So I began to treat my scalp myself, and in doing so, I just began using natural ingredients from my kitchen And that just led me into, other people beginning to notice that my hair started growing, and people wanted to know about how I was doing it. And then they wanted me to make some of the things that I was making for my hair. And I was thinking to myself, no, I can just give you the information. So I was really focused on, okay, if you need help, I'll give you all the information. But then people are busy. They say, just make it, just give it to me. So that led me to getting into cosmetic formulation. So once I learned how to stabilize the products, proper ingredients to use, how to mix the ingredients together to get the best outcome, to get moisture, to prevent breakage and so forth, I began to make hair products by myself. Just fast forward until today, I now do it on a more mass production level, but of course maintaining the standards of ensuring they're natural and organic ingredients in the products, and they're clean, non-toxic, and that they're actually going to aid with whatever issue. So that's how I started. It's basically my own story. So I relate to my customers, and I relate to anyone, whether it's dry hair, breakage, bald spots. I relate to it all because I've experienced a lot of it.
Can you tell me about the product that you just launched?
Absolutely. So the product that I just launched, I call it the Moringa Scalp Tonic. Moringa, if you're not aware of it as yet, for anyone who's not aware of it, it is a plant that's grown in many tropical places. It grows, we have a lot of it in my hometown, back home in Jamaica. It's also it's become very popular, and it's known as a superfood. Some even say that Moringa is a plant that can actually end world hunger because it's very, very nutritious. So many people believe that even by just using some of it while you're cooking, or by taking the powder in your smoothies, or by tablets, then that can actually prevent starvation, and it can actually prevent a lot of the malnourished issues that we have across the world. And I began to use moringa in my ingredients, as a part of my ingredients, when I was doing my mixtures to heal my scalp. And I found that it worked very well. So I keep it in my product. So the first product I launched is the Moringa Scalp Tonic. I don't know if this is clear for the camera. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. And it is available on my website right now at www.firenaturals.com. It is basically a product that was designed to help anyone who wants to use something on their scalp, because what we find is a lot of times people, whether they have an itchy scalp or dandruff or other conditions, they are conditioned to use petroleum and other products on the scalp. And at times that could just make things a lot worse, because petroleum pretty much works like a plastic. So what you're doing is you're sealing the scalp with this oil, and it's clogging the pores. So no air can get in and no air can get out. So basically we've decided to do something that we know is filled with nutrients, so that when it does penetrate into the scalp, it carries with it a lot of nutritional factors, a lot of vitamins and minerals. And at the same time, it helps to soothe with the peppermint and spearmint and other ingredients. It helps to soothe any itchiness and so forth. So there are other factors with it. It actually helps to fight inflammation as well. So those are some of the benefits for it.
Will you tell me, how is it used?
Okay, so the Moringa Scalp Tonic, it's used, basically what you need to do is just remove the cap. It comes with a cap. And if you can see right there, it has a little tip. I'm not sure if you could see the little tip. So all you really need to do, I'm going to use the back of my hand as if it's my scalp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pump it right there, right? So you just pump it on the scalp. And then what you need to do is just use your finger and just massage it right into the scalp. And that's what you do in the areas that you're having issues. So that's how it's used.
It's a scalp product. It's to help the health of your scalp.
Absolutely. And the main reason why this is our first product as well is because we know that the foundation of the hair is the scalp. So you need to ensure that you have healthy scalp before you're concerned about the rest of the hair. Because if your scalp is healthy, then your hair will eventually become healthy, especially if you're doing all the right things and so forth. So we also, in using the Moringa Scalp Tonic as well, you can use it on a daily basis. And we also recommend that you use it. Remember I said earlier that when you're washing your hair, you need to do a scalp treatment as well. You could either make your own scalp treatment using natural and organic ingredients, or you could use something like the Moringa Scalp Tonic. And by applying this onto the scalp before you begin your washing, then you put in whatever you're putting on the hair, and if you're wearing a plastic cap or going under the heat cap, then the Moringa Scalp Tonic would help to do all the clarification of the scalp. It will help to remove the dirt, the debris, and at the same time it will help to deliver some of the nutrients on the scalp when you're doing it that way. So you use it as a daily treatment, but also on the day that you're washing your hair.
And to be clear, your tonic treatment is a leave-in treatment. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if someone is going to be doing, I know you were saying you can either make your own. If you're going to make your own, that is not a leave-in treatment. You would recommend washing that out, putting your tonic on top, and styling from there. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Is there something that you see all the time, you have clients coming to you, and you wish that people would know? This might be one of the biggest problems. If we could just eradicate this, we probably wouldn't have so much issues in the hair department or scalp department going forward. Do you have something that people don't necessarily know, but you wish they would?
I think one of the main issues is because of my background, my story, having hair loss. A lot of people who are suffering from hair loss are gravitated to me. So I meet and talk to a lot of people who are suffering from hair loss issues. The number one thing that I would like to tell everyone, and that I tell the people that I see, and I would really like it to go, that information to go across the globe so people can understand how important it is. When you begin to experience thinning, or you think that you're losing your hair, you think your hair is shedding too much, I want for everyone immediately to consult a health practitioner, a dermatologist, but a professional. You're going to also speak to your stylist and a trichologist, of which I am, which is someone who studies the scalp and the hair. But it's very important that we take it very, very seriously immediately, because what's really happening a lot is a lot of people are ignoring it, and it takes a while for them to come to the conclusion that, it's really true. And sometimes people don't actually accept that this is happening until they have a bald patch. And depending on the reason for that hair loss, it can become permanently damaged. So you want to make sure you get on it ASAP. It breaks my heart every time we have someone come to see me and they've gone so far. It's been 4 years, 5 years, sometimes even a decade of them losing hair. And a lot of times, literally, people come to see me with a huge part of their hairline completely gone, or several patches that wasn't something that just happened in the past few months, but it's something that's been going on for several years. So I would really like people to take it a little bit more seriously. And I'd like people to also understand that, as I state over and over again, hair growth is a biological process. So we don't want to look for an immediate cure. I do sell a hair product, but I don't want to tell people, you know what, just buy this product. You don't have to worry about what you eat. You don't have to worry about what other type of shampoos and conditioners you're using. Just go ahead and, continue on with whatever nasty habits you have, or don't address whatever fungal issues you have internally or topically. So it's very, very, very important that people take it a lot more serious. If you're losing hair, you need to seek help immediately to prevent permanent damage.
So with your background and the fact that you created this product because you have a history yourself, Would you say that there's a specific ethnicity that should be using this product, or is it for everyone?
It's for everyone. It's actually for anyone who wants to care for their scalp, especially more so than the average person, because there are a lot of people, as I mentioned before, who just want to place something on the scalp, whether it's for some people, it's a cultural thing. They've been brought up believing they have to use oils and they have to use, the petroleum things on their scalp, when indeed, most of us don't need to put anything on our scalp. But if you do decide that you want to give your scalp some hair food, then definitely you want to consider using the Moringa Scalp Tonic, because this is something that's not going to cause havoc on the scalp. So it's not going to clog the pores. It's not going to cause you to have, itchiness and tingling sensations and all the other issues that are caused by a lot of petroleum products. It's for anyone who's interested in better scalp health. And especially if you're concerned about your hair beginning to thin, or you're feeling that for some reason, the texture of your hair isn't quite how you'd like it to be, because the texture of the hair, it begins to grow and form from the root. So you want to make sure that your follicles are getting the right nutrients. Internally, of course, as I always stress, eat better, make smoothies, etc. But you also want to use a product that is clean, and that's also going to deliver some nutrients into the hair follicle by the way of topically on the scalp going in.
Thank you, firstly, for that tidbit, because it's very valuable. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
My next question is, I know most people that come to see you might be coming to see you based on the fact of hair loss, but really, it's seeming to be the improper care of the scalp.
Absolutely. You've got it.
So my question,
and the other factors that we mentioned, poor diet, things like, thyroid issues, there's all types of different reasons. But as far as hair care practices, scalp care is one of the biggest issues for sure.
So because I know a lot of people will just look at their hair and be like, something's wrong with my hair, rather than saying something's wrong with my scalp. What sort of things will you see with your scalp? And that will be perhaps an indication that, maybe I should be paying a little bit more attention to my scalp health.
Absolutely. If you find that every time you touch your scalp and you look at your nails, you have dirt in it, there's an issue. You're not taking care of the scalp. It's clogged, because that debris that you're gonna, you scratch and you look and you see something on it, just imagine doing that to your face. I always say that, or any other part of your body. And the scalp, definitely, it's skin as much as the face and the remainder. It's an extension of your skin, right? So you want to make sure you want to make sure that you keep your scalp clean. And that depends, because they're different, especially with different ethnicities. Some ethnicities definitely wash their hair regularly, and that's for a different reason. Because let's say, for example, people who are of European descent, they tend to, their scalp produce a lot more natural oils. So you'll find that they'll wash their hair a little bit more than, let's say, people of African descent, for lack of a better term. So with that being said, there are different reasons, and especially how you wear your hair. So for example, right now you're wearing your braids, right? You may not want to wash your hair every single day while you're wearing your braids, and for most African Americans or African Canadians, whatever we want to call that term, right?
Yeah.
For most of us, we don't wash your hair on a daily basis, but we don't want to wait 1 month, 2 months. So I just want to say that, yes, definitely some of the things that you should be ensuring is that your scalp is clean. And if you find that there's always flakes, there's always dandruff, You know, it could be psoriasis. There's so many different things that could be happening. And this is why I say, even with the scalp, you want to see a dermatologist for things like that. And you want to get on it as soon as possible. You don't want it to take over to the point where it begins to result in thinning or hair loss. So if you see flakes, if you see that your scalp is always dirty, if you feel a tingling sensation on your scalp, if it's always itchy, these are not normal things. And I know people will say, oh, you know, my mom is like that too. You know, it's just my family. We always have itchy scalp. Well, how often are you washing your combs and your brushes?
And your pillowcase.
And your pillowcase, exactly, right? So if you're sharing combs and brushes with someone who has unhealthy scalp care practices, for example, right? Or if they even have a medical condition as such as psoriasis, for example, right? And you're sharing the tools, then of course you're going to think, well, it's genetics. You know, my grandma had it, my mom has it, right? And as you mentioned as well, your pillowcase, you know, your head wrap. What are you wrapping your head with? How often are you washing your head wrap? So these are important things. So your scalp should be something like, when you're concerned, if you're concerned about your hair, I always tell people when they come to me, my number one priority is your scalp right off the bat. I know you want long, flowing, beautiful hair, and I'd love that for you too. But let's face it, we're not going to get there unless we deal with the scalp issue. So let's take a look at the scalp. You know, so there are many things that we recommend in the consultation that I offer. In the I do virtual consultations on the website. We offer those services, and depending on whichever one that you need or what you request, some of the things that we go through, we are definitely going to talk about what scalp issues do you have? When did it start? And we talk about your diet. Are you drinking enough water? So there are many different things that we should be focusing on when it comes on the scalp. When it comes onto the scalp, we should be doing scalp detox, just the same way how we should be detoxing our hair strands. But it's very, very important that we pay attention to the scalp. That's the takeaway.
Can we talk about texturizers?
Absolutely. The texturizer is not as acidic, it's not as damaging as, let's say, the relaxer or the perm. There's one thing I want to say before I even explain why these things cause so much damage. I want it to be very clear that I'm not saying I'm against someone having the freedom of using relaxers or texturizers. You can do that, but I want to say that with warning, because when you use this, you have to ensure, more so than when you have your natural hair, that you're doing everything in your power to maintain that texturizer or the perm. They're very similar in the sense where they require a lot more attention than your natural hair does. Not only are they damaging to the scalp over time, because as I mentioned earlier, there's some ingredients in cosmetic products that don't necessarily wash out of your hair. So yes, the product is still in your hair, so to speak, right? And it is penetrating through the hair strands. Now, each strand has 3 layers, and it's going directly in there to turn something that's extremely curly and basically alter the curling pattern. But in loosening the curl pattern, what's actually happening, it's breaking down the protein bonds of the hair. And your hair is made of protein. So when you reduce more of the protein, you're basically reducing more of your hair. So over time, you keep doing that, and it eventually will cause havoc. The only way that you can do that and continue to keep your hair healthy looking is by continuously doing protein treatments. Is that clear?
That is super clear. Thank you so much for taking the time to kind of elaborate on that. Is there something people don't know about you or your company that people should know?
About myself, I am a banker first.
Okay.
Right? I worked in the financial sector for almost 2 decades. So I'm very, very strong on budgeting and financing and making sure. And I also am someone who's very holistic. Obviously having a natural hair care line. So I've always been someone who's conscious of what I eat. You know, I've learned the lessons along the way because there were times I focused on what I wasn't eating. I'm not going to eat this and I'm not going to eat that. And I wasn't focusing on nutrient intake. So yeah. I've learned a lesson, but I've always been very conscious of my food intake and so forth. I'm happy that I lost my hair in the first place, even though I still somehow struggle with hair loss because of genetics and some other issues. I'm really happy that it happened in the beginning because it really has helped me to take care of my girls' hair. And teach them. Now they're at the age, they're doing it themselves for the most part, but they have very clear understanding. So the mistakes my mother made, and a lot of us were moms who made, my girls don't have to make those mistakes because they know better.
Well, Sophia, I can't thank you enough for being here and educating us a little bit more about what no one talks about, and that is your scalp. So thank
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm going to leave all her contact information below. So if you need anything, please, please, please reach out. Always like, comment, and share. But beyond all else, please support local. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.